Hello YouTube and welcome back to World of Warships with Wadres again, and I have a somewhat special Thanksgiving episode for you, and this is coming from the Tier 6 German pocket battleship or heavy cruiser, the Admiral Graf Spee. Now, this is a ship I picked up a good while back, and quite honestly, I just don't use her very often. I've spent a lot more time doing other things, but she is a rather beautiful ship, and she does have some merits, which I will be discussing. She has 39,400 hit points and a 22% reduction to torpedo damage, which, for a Tier 6 battle cruiser, heavy cruiser, is reasonably respectable. For her armor profile, she does have some thin points, but when you're looking at this from the perspective of her being more of a battle cruiser or a heavy cruiser, it does make a fair bit of sense with some of the thicknesses. For her main battery, she has 283 millimeter triple turrets, two of them, which have a 20-second reload. With Expert Marksman, they turn around in 22.8 seconds, have 170 meters of dispersion. She has 3,200 maximum HE shell damage and 8,400 maximum AP shell damage. She has a 16-kilometer range and a 20% chance of fire on her HE shells. And, well, let's just say that dispersion is really her Achilles heel more than anything else. She does have some secondaries, but, I mean, she does have the rather decent German secondaries as well, but overall, she is a cruiser and a Tier 6 cruiser, so she doesn't really benefit highly from them, aside from the fact that she is somewhat bristling with them. She also has two quadruple torpedo launchers mounted towards her stern, and these launchers actually do have some rather nice drop angles. And unfortunately, while I don't exactly take the greatest advantage of the torp angles in the battle to come up, it is something that is definitely one of her strong points, because she doesn't have to go completely broadside to drop her torpedoes on anything. They do have an 8-kilometer range, they have a reasonable amount of damage, and a maximum speed of 65 knots. And of course, she is a heavier cruiser, so she does have a fair AA suite. It's not stellar, but it is at least there. You will definitely be capable of knocking a couple of planes out of the sky, if nothing else, though most of that damage is focused in her long-range anti-air aura as opposed to anything else. For her maneuverability, she is reasonably quick at 28.5 knots. She has a 680-meter turning circle, which is nice and tight, and she has an 8.2-second rudder shift. And of course, finally, for her concealment, she has a 12.7-kilometer surface detection range, 8.5 kilometers by air, and she is seen from 9.5 kilometers in smoke after firing her main guns. I mean, overall, she's definitely a very capable ship. I am also running her with Main Armaments Mod 1, Propulsion Mod 1, Aiming Systems Mod 1, and Steering Gears Mod 2, because she is a little bit of a bigger, heavier ship, so she does kind of need her rudder to kick over a little bit faster, take advantage of that nice tight turning circle. And of course, I am running her with all premium consumables, because reload times are definitely a thing. Now, I am running this ship with my 19-point Hindenburg commander, so it is very, very well specialized. He has preventative maintenance, expert marksman, adrenaline rush, torpedo armament expertise, basic firing training, advanced firing training, and manual fire control for anti-air armament. And while her anti-air skills aren't exactly going to get much of an exercise in the operation coming up, overall, she does have some reasonably good skills going for her with this build. Otherwise, I probably would have gone with a secondary build for her. On that note, we are going to get into the battle. This is the Operation Killer Whale, which is the first operation out of the gate after the Halloween events. And it's not bad. I just figured I would try my hand at it, just for grins, for one round. And I really wasn't utterly disappointed. I probably could have chosen a better ship, but overall, it definitely went well. And for more reasons than one. The biggest one, however, being that the amount of teamwork that the team I ended up with here is just absolutely phenomenal. And it actually starts to show more later in the match. For now, I am just kind of gonna let you all enjoy watching the video, because unfortunately I am still a little bit under the weather from the cold I had a couple of weeks ago. For the last week, I had a little bit of a secondary thing going on where I've just been coughing like crazy. I had a little bit of a sinus infection, a little bit of a respiratory infection even. So I've been coughing up a storm. In fact, I'm actually trying to fight back coughing right now. The end result of this being that I really don't want to spend an incredible amount of time talking, because it can give me some coughing fits. So I'll try to keep the talking to a minimum so that you can just enjoy watching the video, and I will just add in little editorial comments here and there as I see fit.
Torpedoes, dead ahead. Torpedoes, direct front. Torpedoes, dead ahead. Torpedoes to starboard. The ship is on fire. Problem solved, sir. The ship is on fire.
So right around here is where things kind of start picking up a little bit as far as just the actual teamwork goes. I mean, earlier on we did have the instance where we were knocking out the fortifications to help out the CV, but beyond that it was really kind of just a free-for-all as we entered the port and took out some of the shore installations. As far as anything else goes, there wasn't really a whole lot going on. Everybody was just kind of enjoying the free-for-all. But now, getting into the closing stages of the operation is where things actually kind of start picking up, because we just start communicating, figuring out who's going where, who's going to do what, and just trying to figure out what the best course of action is as far as getting the operation completed with 5 stars. And it actually does go reasonably well. And I do have to say that for a group of 7 randomly thrown together players, I guess I could say the randomly thrown together teamwork even really came as quite a surprise. We managed to do very well. The communication was decent, and while I may not have exactly said much myself in regards to the communication, just knowing what other people was doing was very helpful, because it allowed us to plan out our next move on pretty much every front.
Fighter airborne.
Reconnaissance reporting. The second enemy reinforcement party is approaching.
Part of what I'm doing here kind of comes back into what I was talking about a little bit earlier with the teamwork. The 2 cruisers off in my field of vision here were going to the north to handle the enemy ships up north, and I just kind of came up this way towards this divide between the islands to give a little bit of support if they needed it, which at this point it's really not looking like they do, but also because there were other ships that tend to spawn up to the north, which, even if I can't do much about them overall in the long run, I can still harass them a little bit and give them something to shoot at other than the 2 cruisers that are trying to deal with a couple of mission objectives. So, I mean, overall, I wasn't exactly communicating this phenomenally well to my teammates, but I think it was pretty much understood. Now, one of the things that I do want to mention also very quickly in regards to my new computer is that the rendering from the replay file is substantially smoother, which is why you're actually seeing a lot more of my actual scope targeting instead of me actually trying to zoom in from sort of a free rotation look. Because now I can actually show you in smoother quality what I'm actually doing in the reticle, as opposed to where it was before on my previous computer, where the frames were just jumpy and glitchy, and while you could see what I was doing, it was just very smooth and hard to follow.
Reconnaissance reporting. The third enemy reinforcement party is approaching.
The ship is on fire.
I think really the last point I'm going to make as far as just any of the battle progression here is this Tenryu. This Tenryu was like the bane of my existence for this match. I tried so hard to kill it, and it took me so long. It takes me so long to kill it, that it was just like, seriously, come on, just hit this sucker already. But this is where I have to kind of talk about the downside, or the Achilles heel of the Graf Spee, so to speak. And that is, she only has the 6 larger caliber guns. Granted, they are large caliber guns, so when they do hit, they hurt. But the dispersion is horrendous. It really is her Achilles heel. She has decent speed, her torpedoes are wonderful, but her guns, that is her suffering point, as with really just about any German, I guess I could say battleship caliber guns. They're very erratic, to say the least. And those few instances where you get good dispersion are probably the instances where it's like, I wish my dispersion was a little bit worse, because then I might have actually hit something. And then you get the bad dispersion, and it's like, really? I needed tight dispersion, and this is what I get. Lovely. But anyway, yeah, I managed to kill the destroyer, and then I switch back over to the Tenryu, and
The ship is on fire.
my next shot is like, it just goes wild. I get 1 over pen. That's it, from 6 shells. This Tenryu just, it gave me no small amount of frustration.
The ship is on fire.
Reconnaissance reporting. The fourth enemy reinforcement party is approaching.
Problem solved, sir.
Enemy cruiser destroyed.
Yay, I finally killed the Tenryu. Okay, no ships around me. At this point, it was just like, okay, I know we need to have ships at least close to the exit point, so this is where I start trying to use the Graf Spee's speed a little bit to our advantage, and get to the exit point, or at least as close as possible to it, so that we can get 5 stars on the mission. And yeah, it unfortunately I don't make it, but I certainly do give it my best shot. But fortunately, it turns out that you really don't need to be in the circle, you just kind of need to be close. So overall, although I think what really happened was Our other cruiser over here actually managed to get into the circle. I didn't make it, but our 2 cruisers off to the north got killed off by the last spawned enemy battleship. Anyway, we do get 5 stars. Yay, hooray, amazing, awesome. For the match, I earned 380,538 credits, 6,884 experience points, 5,683 free experience points, and I even picked up the C-Star medal, which means at least I was able to carry my own weight in the match, I guess I could say, in that I did at least my ship's HP worth of damage. I did get 5 surface installations suppressed, I got 1 Citadel on the Tenryu, I got 3 ships destroyed, 33 main battery hits, 45,271 damage. I was the 5th in line for the team with 1,059 base experience points earned, 3 ship kills. Our Ryujo was the top earner on the team. He definitely did a phenomenal job, though he wasn't exactly having to fight off aircraft carriers with this new iteration. I suppose that's an added bonus. And overall, just not bad in the least. And I certainly spread my damage around quite a little bit, but that Tenryu, 11,419 damage, and it took me, what, 5-6 minutes to actually accumulate all of that? That sucker needed to die. Anyway, finishing everything off, 330,695 credits earned net for the match, with 14,212 experience points earned for my commander, which, as he is the 19-point commander, that goes straight into my Elite Commander EXP pool. Anyway, on that note, I hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving. If you like what you see in my video, please do not forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel. And I hope I will catch you all again some other time. Stay safe out there.